All right, it's a lunchtime walk into the woods near where near where my shop is. I rode the motorcycle again today, and for the weather here in the southeast, or at least right around here, Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City, Alabama, the humidity has dropped a lot for this week. So the temperatures are down, and it almost feels like a fall day. It's still pretty warm. I believe it's probably in the 80s, but without the humidity, it seems like there's a little bit of crispness in the air. And to me, it just feels like the beginning of fall. And sometimes I catch that fall feeling before. Oh my goodness, there's so much weeds here. But toward the end of summer, I start catching those feelings of fall before the temperature or humidity even goes away. There's something about the sunlight. I don't know what it is. I'm not even saying that I'm accurate in whenever I get this feeling or detection, but there's something about the sunlight changes, and it might just be momentarily that I look out and see things in a certain way. Hold on a minute, try to keep from busting it. But I get that feeling of fall before it ever really gets here. And for me, when I was a kid growing up, I used to really love the summertime. Used to love going swimming and being out of school, riding my bicycle around. And when I was young, it seems like I hardly ever wore shoes and a shirt. I was always in shorts, barefooted, running around. And I just always loved the summertime. So whenever fall time would start rolling around, that transition of the seasons always gave me the blues. I don't know, it was, not necessarily depressed or anything, but it was a bit of a bluesy feeling, a little bit sad, just the changing from fall to from summer to fall. That it's almost like you was losing something. Something was not necessarily dying, but something was leaving. And it didn't last. It don't last long. I've all throughout my years, I've always had that feeling of changing from summer to fall. Always kind of gave me a down type feeling. But the good thing is we do have college football rolling in, and that's a really big deal here in the South, and especially in my geographical area, because in Alabama we have Auburn University. This is right up the road. I think maybe, well, from my house, maybe about a half an hour, and I live in the same county as Auburn University. And the other major college football school and the other major school and football team in the state is Alabama Crimson Tide. And there is a lot of college football fans around here. And then being that this bi-state area with Georgia, lots of Georgia Bulldog fans here too. So college football is a big deal here. So I'm not gonna turn this channel into a college football channel, but it's just something that we really enjoy around here. Mandy really likes it. Mandy will watch football no matter who it is. It could be just some small teams never even heard of, and she'll sit there and watch it. But she is an Alabama fan first and foremost. And whenever we started dating, we had both come to a bit of a conclusion, a realization. There's things that we each wanted in a possible boyfriend, girlfriend, if you want to call it that. But from my point of view, I wanted to be with somebody that didn't smoke cigarettes, because I used to smoke cigarettes, and it was more of a social thing. I did it out of a bit of a habit that wasn't a chemical habit. I was just doing it for several years. But a couple years before me and Mandy started dating, I had quit smoking, and it was for good. Thankfully, it wasn't something that it was too difficult to do. It's just one day, it's like, I'm done with this, and I never looked back. So I didn't want to be with somebody that smoked cigarettes. You know, I had come to detest the smell and the taste of it all, and I wanted to be equally yoked with someone that had the same spiritual beliefs as I did. So I wanted to find a strong Christian woman that didn't smoke. And the third part of that was, as far as being on level playing ground, equality between both of us, was someone that was a fan of the Alabama football team. Because, you know, if it had been somebody that was an Auburn fan, that would be a point of contention. And I wanted to be on the same page. I wanted everything to be peaches and cream all the time, and that meant, you know, believe in the same Lord that I believe, you know, and not have crazy habits that I don't agree with, and a civil household when college football season starts. So, and on the other side of the coin, Mandy was looking for the same thing. And she didn't want to be with anybody with crazy habits, you know, cigarettes and all that stuff. And that back then, we both indulged in a little bit of adult beverages, but that was pretty neat that we were both looking for the same thing. And so now here it is. It's the week leading up to Labor Day weekend. This is the end of August, and usually the hot weather don't leave us until toward the end of September. We don't start getting these cooler, crisper mornings toward the end of September, or middle, you know, a few more weeks at least. But, and that's not to say that we're done with the hot weather around here. It's just this week humidity dropped, and that made for very, very nicer temperatures. And no rain for the next few days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday look good. So I'm riding the Harley to work. Yesterday I went for a ride during lunch. Tried my hand at some moto vlogging with I tried Chris Wickless, tried his method, gaff taping a magnet inside the front of my helmet. And I guess the material that the front of my helmet's made of, the tape didn't stick too well. So I got to continue working with that situation as far as being able to moto vlog with my mic inside my helmet. But went for a lunchtime motorcycle ride yesterday. Kind of fell off the wagon last night with my diet. I had a really good lunch yesterday, so it was filling. And by the time I went home, I still felt comfortable. I wasn't starving or anything, so I didn't really eat much. And getting close to bedtime, I got the munchies a little bit and had me some pork skins, and it's kind of like I went into a feeding frenzy. Got a hold of a little bag of popcorn that the grandkids left over there, and I checked the nutritional information. Had a lot of carbohydrates in it, but by then there was blood in the water, man. I started hammering down on those things. It wasn't a big bag, but they didn't stand a chance. I went through those things like a hot knife through butter. And then Mandy has been enjoying some Doritos lately, and I have not had a desire at all to eat those Doritos. But she had a new bag and an old bag there. The old bag was toward the end, a lot of little chips in there that she can't manipulate too well with her fingers. So I went to town on that bag of Doritos, finished them off. And then some little grape tomatoes sitting right there. Went to town on them. So it was right at bedtime. I'd already put her in the bed, and I was sitting there chowing down on some mess that I didn't need to be eating that close to bedtime. So I already knew that I had set things, you know, pre-positioned everything to ride the motorcycle to work today. And I told myself that I needed to do something to work out that mess that I ate instead of going for another lunchtime ride. So I'm taking a walk down here this trail by the shop. So here I am. But anyways, yep, it's leading up to week 1 college football. Hope everybody out there that does watch college football, I hope your team wins. And I hope everybody is pleased with their team. And I say that across the board. I hope all conferences, all teams, with the exception of one team, and that's the Florida State Seminoles. No hate on FSU, but they're playing Bama this weekend. I know they had a terrible season last year, and for this one weekend, I hope that terrible season continues to week 1, just because they're playing Alabama. But outside of that, I hope they rebound and have a great season. But you know, there's a lot of unknowns coming up to this week 1 with both teams, Alabama and Florida State. Bama's breaking in a new quarterback, Ty Simpson. Had a little bit of mop-up duty last year, but no starts, no meaningful playing time. So that's the question. Who is Ty Simpson going to be under center? And also the running game, the star running back, Jam Miller, went down with an injury in one of the practices and is going to miss a few weeks. So, and then on the flip side of that, bunch of what ifs on the Florida State side. You know, they addressed a lot of problems. I think a little bit of staffing revamp. Gus Malzahn on the offensive side of the ball. And if you watch any Alabama football, Gus Malzahn has been successful in beating Alabama teams under the Saban era. So it'll be interesting to watch how Gus Malzahn manages that Florida State offense. And Kalen DeBoer, Alabama coach, he's done a lot of work this offseason, getting his staffing and team back up to par. You know, he had a lot of attrition last year whenever Coach Saban retired and he took over. A lot of folks left the program. So had a really good recruiting season. And some of the analysts that I do watch and put my faith into, Josh Pate being one of them, spoke very highly of how the Alabama scrimmages have been going. So I hope they hit the field with high intensity and jump on the board quick and get settled in and continue to play some hard-nosed football. So, sorry for that long sports rant about a team y'all probably cared nothing about or would wish that would lose every game. But I am a Bama fan, so if you watch my content, you're probably going to hear quite a bit of it starting this weekend. But also, some of the anxiety stuff that I've talked about in the past. You know, things that, contentious, controversial, things that get your anxiety going. College football was one of them that really made my heart beat, made me nervous. So much so that so much so that I would not watch a game if Alabama was losing or was having a tough time. I found it difficult to even be near the TV. But, Mandy she just keep on watching. She's a very faithful fan, and she won't turn the TV off of it. She'll keep watching till the bitter end. And but this year, I'm gonna face my fears, grab them by the horns, look that fear in the face, and I'm gonna watch that game from beginning to end, win or lose. I'm gonna stand there or sit there and watch it. I'm gonna try my best not to dampen my feelings with domestic light beers and try to keep my wits about me. But I wanna sit there and be a good fan of the sport, of the game and my team, and watch the whole thing, win or lose. So if I can do that, I will attribute it to starting this YouTube channel with the intent of improving my life spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I put that college football thing down in there in mental and emotional wellness. So anyways, it's Tuesday. Got a few days to prepare. It's gonna be tough. I'm nervous already, just thinking about going into Doak Campbell Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida. Oh my goodness, that war chant thing they do. Whew, man, that is so aggravating. I might have to mute the TV a little bit if they do that stuff too much, but I am not a fan of watching a Florida State football game in Tallahassee. That's tough to just sit there and have that chant going on while you're trying to listen to the announcers or watch the game. Anyways, what about y'all? Do y'all like college football? Or my other thing is NASCAR. I don't really watch any professional sports. I'm not into NFL or Major League Baseball. Some of those things, like baseball. I used to be a big baseball fan. I played baseball in high school growing up. But these days, I'd rather watch paint dry than watch one inning of Major League Baseball. NFL, it's just so many outlandish characters and attitudes that I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of NFL. And then it's also very competitive, so it's less exciting than college football to me. So, but even NASCAR, you know, I really love the Cup Series, but I do not like this next gen car that they have. You know, they put the bigger wheels, the single hub nut. I don't know. It's one step away from being open wheel. I mean, not to say anything bad about, you know, open wheel motorsports. I mean, they go really fast. It's competitive. But it seems like if you knock the fenders off a cup car now, that it's closer to F1 than it is a stock car. And I know there ain't nothing stock about them cars anymore, and they haven't been for a long time. But I've felt more inclined and enjoyed the cars and the racing in the lower tier series, which is, they call it Xfinity now, but you know, they still got 5 lug nuts, and I enjoy that type of car, that type of racing more than I do what the cup cars are now. So Oh man, I'm at the end of the trail where the big hill is. I wonder if I should just go, where are we at? I mean, 1.05 miles right now. I've gone up this thing before, but by the time I get to the top, my hamstrings are on fire. And it's not really all that wet, but I don't know. What time is it? Just barely after 12. I think I'm gonna walk back around because I want a little bit longer of a walk. If I go back to the shop by going up that hill, it barely went over a mile. So anyway, editing my weekly video and I realized I didn't even give an ending to it. So just gonna give a salutation right here while I'm putting it together. DaVinci Resolve on a new computer. Dogs. Mandy. And other little dog found her a bed in my chair over there. I don't know. I guess they like the smell of my butt, so they go sit in my chair all the time. But see y'all next week, hopefully. Or maybe even another day this weekend.